Yeah, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Barbershop Chop. Welcome to my show. And today I want to talk about the winter storm that has just really just hit Texas hard and has left a lot of families, including myself, without power, without heat, without hot water. So a week ago, there was a 100 car pile up in Fort Worth, 100 car wreck, and at least 6 people were confirmed dead. Right? So I think that's just horrible. It seems like every time there's some kind of ice or some kind of precipitation on the road, even if it's just rain, people just don't know how. I'm not going to say don't know how to drive. People just don't take the precaution to drive slow, drive cautiously, put distance between you and the car in front of you. But I will say that you may have some people that don't know when there is ice on the road, don't slam on your brakes because you're going to slide, you're going to hydroplane, all that kind of stuff. So I've noticed that because in the Midwest and in the Northeast, this may be pretty common with the ice and things of that nature, but it's not as common as in here. It's not as common as it is there as it is here. It's not as common here in Texas as it is there. So I noticed that a lot of Texans, especially native Texans, may not know how to drive in these kind of environments, with this kind of weather. So I think that needs to be, that knowledge needs to be widespread about how to drive in this ice, drive when there's sleet on the road, and things of that nature. I think this is something that can really be minimized, because it seems like from history, every time there's some kind of ice on the road, somebody's got to pass away. And I hate having to say that, but it's just true. Every time there's ice or something on the road, it's going, okay, you just wait on the news article to break. Fox 4 or CBS 11 or whatever the case may be. I think that's just absolutely horrible. Now, I'm not really into politics, but I'm sure you guys have heard the whole Ted Cruz situation, where he has gone to Cancun amidst all of this, all of these freezing temperatures and these families running out of power and heat and hot water and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm not going to really get into that, but I will say, just from an optics standpoint, it does not look good on his part. It looks horrible, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to gossip and say, oh, he's this, he's that. But I will say, just from the outside looking in, it doesn't look good that he flew to Cancun amidst all of this stuff happening. Just not a good look for someone who's in charge. But I'm not really into politics. I just handle what I can. I just control what I control, which is this household. It is what it is. And I hope you guys do the same thing and don't put faith in the politics. Just control the controllables. Another thing I want to talk about is, so I've had friends of mine, I should say, who have lost power for at least 30 hours. So 2.5 days before it came on. And I just think that's horrible, right? 2.5 days without power is way too long. And this is without hot water and all that good stuff. So, and this is not the only case. You have many families who, with younger children, this is what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the younger kids, maybe the elderly, who may not have the warmth and may not have the food abundance or something of that nature, because, of course, you go to the grocery store, all of the food is dang near gone, right? Very scarce when it comes to food in the grocery stores and gas, because of course it can't be delivered. The logistics won't work out due to all of this bad weather. And so, I was really just thinking about all the elderly and the younger people who may not have a lot of food in their refrigerator, who may not have cars so they can go in and warm their car up or something of that nature. And another story is, there were, from what I'm saying, 2 people passed away from carbon monoxide poisoning in their garage. And so I just think that's horrible, because people get into, stuff like this happens, and people get into desperate situations, and they either may not have the knowledge to not, open the garage or whatever the case may be, or they may just gotten so desperate, so cold, where they just, went for it. And unfortunately, they passed away from it. And so I just think something like this it never needs to happen again. And I think a good solution to it, which I was reading, a good solution will be to weatherize the power grids, so the power grids won't malfunction if you weatherize them. When it gets cold outside and freezing temperatures, they have a lesser chance of malfunction, and you won't have this super power outage with rolling blackouts and all this good stuff, because that really puts a lot of families and children and elderly in a very very bad position. And I just think it's something that does not ever need to happen again. So I'm really hoping that ERCOT really steps up and puts some money towards weatherizing these power grids, because this made history today. These blackouts. And I also read an article today. They were saying that ERCOT, they were saying that we were minutes. Now they may have been engaging in hyperbole, so it's it's completely hyperbolic. But they saying that we were minutes or hours, no, seconds or minutes away from a power outage that would have lasted months. Now I just think that's my personal opinion. I think that's completely hyperbolic. I'm happy they got the power cut back on fully now without any rolling blackouts. But at the same time, I think it comes off as very disingenuous, and it comes off as that's the best way I can put it. It comes off as very disingenuous, because that they supply over 90% of Texas electricity, and so they know that we rely on them. So to put out in my opinion, to put out a disingenuous article saying that we were minutes or seconds away from a months-long blackout, I mean, it's kind of like, is that really necessary to put that article out when you just cut the power back on, and you have families out there that are dealing with the ramifications of this power outage? Because this has some collateral, some effect, and there's a lot of collateral damage that happened with these rolling blackouts. I didn't even mention the homeless people who unfortunately probably froze. They may not have had any tents or anywhere to lay their head because it's so damn cold outside. Who knows if they would have, they may have caught hypothermia or something of that nature. We don't know, right? And that stuff may not even get put on the news, but I'm going to say it because we don't know. It's definitely possible. Now you do have a few churches and religious centers and recreation centers that opened up their facilities to be considered as warming centers, and I think that's absolutely great. I think that's very kind of them to open up their facilities if they did have electricity, because not everyone lost electricity. And so I'm not going to make any speculation here. I'm not going to engage in speculation. But I did read that, I was looking on Twitter or whatnot on social media, there were people who said that some of the more affluent zip codes, such as University Park and Highland Park, they did not lose electricity. Now, I did not do any individual research and go and confirm this or anything of that nature, but I will say I have two clients. I do private math tutoring in my business. I have two clients that do live in Highland Park, and they did not lose any electricity. They stay, right in the middle of Highland Park, and then they did not lose any electricity. And I thought that was very interesting, but still, that's not going to be my focus. My focus was on controlling what I could control. And so hopefully you guys didn't have to get out there and drive over these past few days. Now, I do know that some people had to. I know I had to. I had to get out and go, check on a family member or whatnot. So I did have to get out there and drive, and I recorded the whole thing, which just because I'm weird like that. But so I had to, jump on the freeway or whatever the case may be. But it's definitely one of those things where if I didn't have to, I definitely wouldn't, because it's quite dangerous. Because even while I was driving, and I was driving at and I was away from other cars as much as I can be. I was driving 40, 45 miles on the freeway, as slow as I can, and I have good tires on my car and whatnot, but still, I don't want to slip and slide and hydroplane and all that good stuff. I still saw people out there driving faster than in my opinion, than what they should have been driving at very, very dangerous speeds, where I feel like if they would have hit any kind of black ice, they would have been sliding, and unfortunately they may have crashed. So it goes back to my first point where I say that some people just don't know how to drive due to carelessness, recklessness, and just pure, just recklessness. They just drive too fast in all of this ice and all this sleet, and it's very dangerous because you put other people who are trying to drive safely and who are going to check on family members who do have to get out and go get some groceries, the little bit that there are, who do have to go take care of some business. You put them in danger. And so I hate it when innocent people have to pass away due to the recklessness of other people's driving, and just in general. So I think that's just absolutely asinine in my opinion. But and now I've been off. I worked 2 jobs, so I was off like all week, Sunday through Thursday. So I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see if you. I don't work from home, so I'm curious to see if you guys had to work from home, or you guys let me know what you got. Let me know what you think about this entire winter experience or whatever this past week, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all take it easy.